GH, we're Eastern. Big ballers don't pretend. Running, cutting through defense. Have your team in the deep end. Real black star, no treason. Kudus, left foot, doodle. Believe the hype, East London. We outside, Abontin.
All right, we outside. I want thing. This morning, a Nigerian asked me, "What, bros? What does Abontin mean?" I say, "We outside, bro. We outside, bro, innit?" Anyway, Kudus has given us a song, so that's a teaser. Right now, the musician Governor B needs to give us the full track. You see, in addition to giving West Ham a player, we have to give them the most streams they have ever got, you know, in their history as well. Welcome to Sports Zone. I'm Gary Al Smith, and that's how we welcome you with the news that Kudus Mohammed is a hammer, following in the steps of Andre Ayew, 2016, 2018, and John Pentel, 2006 to 2008. Before him, Andre made just about 50 appearances, and John Pentel made slightly less as well. But Kudus, you can be sure that he will make a bit more. The show is brought to you by Hunters, by Syntex Tanks, and we have a new sponsor. Yeah, we have a new sponsor today. Welcome to the show, welcome to the family, welcome to the zone. Pride Bet. Jatanu Alandio Yalandi. The new season is here, and the place for you to play and win is pridebet.com.gh. Pridebet, the best online betting platform, offering you a variety of gaming ranges from sports, virtuals, and casino games. Be your own pilot and win with your favorite aviator game. Enjoy quick cash outs. Quick. Instant cash outs and weekly boosted odds. Simply visit pridebet.com.gh to make your first deposit and get a 100% bonus up to 500 CDs welcome offer. 500 CDs welcome offer. Bra, in Diagra what Pride Bet wati. Together we play, and is regulated, of course, by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. With Hunters, you know that they have the new red apple cider, the real apple cider, which is crisp and refreshing as well. For bulk purchase, call us on 0262 351 251, 0262 351 251. And for Syntex tanks, is the strongest. You can get your preferred color, whatever guarantees that you want. It has an inner layer. It has double, triple, quadruple layers, as many as you want. You can just customize it as well. Syntex tank, a strong, a tough. You can order a tank on 0244 335 168 and follow them at Syntex Ghana on all the socials. So when we come back today, we'll be doing a review of the World Athletics Championships, especially from the African point of view, how the athletes did. We'll touch on Ghana just a bit. Last week we did most of it. And then we go to Europe and see what's happening there with the matches this weekend. The Premier League, Kudus' West Ham have won. They are at a good place in the table, so he can start on a very good note. We'll be back after this commercial break. Thank you for joining us again. Sports Zone brought to you by Hunters and also Syntex Tanks. And today we are having a new sponsor, like I said. Please log on to pridebet.com.gh. pridebet.com.gh. They are the #1 betting platform for you as well. Danny Cranton is here.
Quick.
Situ also here.
Sue.
Yeah. So we'll come to the football pretty shortly. Most of you are excited. I'm seeing messages of congratulations for Kudus Mohammed already. Patrick Davis in Boma Jr. inside Jukwa says, all the best, Kudus. Give us more of what you are doing. More fire. Hi, Gary. I'm Lamar Seedoff and watching live from Tanosu Kumasi. I really love Kudus and his new song. #Mo Kudus. Hi, my name is Nash and I missed the show. This one says, all the best to Kudus Mohammed. Okay, I've read that one. Hi, I'm Jerry from Akonsombo. Can't wait to see Kudus play. And so many messages coming in. Most of you are really excited. But please, the number is 055-157-5757. 055-157-5757. We are asking a question. Where Kudus go play?
Should I answer?
No, no. That's the question we've been asking. We are all excited, but where in the team do you think Kudus will play? One, do you think he'll walk into the West Ham starting 11? Two, if he will, where would he play? Let's answer that pretty shortly. Well, the World Athletics Championships are over. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was great. So many storylines. This time, it favored us in this part of the world because the time difference was great. In Oregon, Eugene, it was several hours behind. And so not too many people were able to follow. But it happened while people were at work here, while people had just gone to work in the evening. People had come home. 7 p.m. was when the major finals start. So people were able to follow. What was your best moment of these championships?
Two. The first one was, of course, Shakari Richardson winning the 100 meters.
This man, he did like Shakari pass.
Very excited because she shut up the haters, and I love people who talk big, and when they go out, they walk the talk. So I was really impressed with that performance. And also, you spoke about the African continent and Tobago. He didn't win the 200, but for his first major, and I say first major because I don't consider what happened in Oregon as his first major. That was different. That was a bit too close to the youth championships. So he's taking a break. He's come a year after the youth championships. And to finish second in the 100, third in the 200, and you could just see in both races that there's still an extra gear he hasn't hit yet. And for me, I'm happy that the talent was never in doubt. For me, is the mentality. How do you cope when the big boys are around? And we see a lot of people crumble under pressure. We've seen it several times in sports. It is not only in athletics, but he handled it well, and he lost to the best at the moment. If you lose to Noah Lyles at this point in time, there's really no shame in that. He's on his peak. But I boldly say that from what I witnessed in Budapest, next year's Paris Olympics is going to be next level stuff. And I feel he's going to give Noah Lyles a run for his money. We've seen it throughout the circuit this season, the Diamond Leagues. I think he's closing that gap a bit. And for a young boy, 20-year-old, a silver and a bronze in the World Championships, it's really impressive. And I say it again, focusing on Africa, because we've seen several times. When it comes to the long distances, I don't think we need to spend much time on that, because Africa always dominates. But for Africa to come into the sprints, especially in the male sprints,
that's really good.
Is huge. That is huge. And for a country like Botswana, who are not necessarily always in the picture, I think he's done a fantastic job.
Yeah, I agree, of course. For as young as he is, Tobago there, to go into the championship, silver and bronze, we're talking about somebody who's only 20 years. And the pressure on him was immense. And it's, if like this is the very first time that there's so much spotlight on him, because we know his talents now, we know how fast he can run. And many actually thought he could give Lyles the problems there. I didn't think so. But I have a problem with Danny K. How can you love somebody who walks her talk and not Laos, who's walked every single talk that he stopped. He said he was going to deliver 3 goals, and he delivered them. And that is why he was my man of the moment. And I tell you what, and even throughout the competition, the commentators kept mentioning it. Athletics, people love it. But they've not necessarily had the pull. And I think he's one of the, no analysis, one of those who gets people to want to watch because of his character, because he will boast about what he can do, and in the end, deliver it. And when he's done that, he speaks very well. And we've already had the controversy about the way he conducted his interviews post his race. He's calling the NBA what they call world champions when they are only played in the USA, and he has competed amongst or with people from different countries, and he is truly the world champion. These are the characters you need for sports like athletics that can easily be lost in the midst of all the other sporting activities that is happening. So for me, that was the very highlights. And when you look at all the portals, all the news and everything, the more reason why he's the one. Obviously 100 meters is very sought after, everybody wants to see it, but he's taking it to another level. You know, he's taking it to another level where, like Usain Bolt, people want to watch it because of him. Yeah. They want to see the character. They want to see how he celebrates, how he runs his race. But ultimately, I think it gives us a tone, or sets a tone for what is to come in the Olympic Games. Because these athletes are even going to get better. Yeah. And some of them were already disappointed they couldn't even break the records, and they're looking at doing better in Paris. So yeah, I mean, I loved what we saw on the circuits, on the tracks, and I tell you what, next year is promising plenty in Bahamas and of course in the Olympics. What
these games have done is something they, and I've been talking about it last week across all our platforms, that athletics has had a real problem with losing audiences. One, Gen Z, who typically are the ones who would make or unmake you in terms of your sport, have complained that some of the events are not their taste. That is, some are too long, they are not friendly in terms of how they view them, and so on. These games, you can tell that there has been a deliberate effort to add entertainment to it. For those of you who watched it in Ghana via DSTV, okay, the worldwide feed was provided by the same person, the same commentator, white man who didn't come because he was injured, his father, right? You realize that this past week or last 10 days, he has taken the exaggeration to another level. I mean, he's too dramatic. Yeah,
he's saying some things.
I'm like, bro, I'm watching
They're all watching the same thing, but what are you adding too much color?
You're adding too much color.
Deliberately.
The euphemisms are more, the hyperbole is more, the talking up is more. And you can tell that they are telling the athletes to talk.
Showed up.
Talk. The questions are more provocative. You know, that's only because they want you to love the sport. Athletics has never been boring. The problem has been that selling it to people has always been the problem.
Unfortunately for them, we have an impatient generation.
Yes. Also because, like you mentioned, the stars of athletics have been flat for a while. Post Usain, post Tyson Gay, even Blake was boastful. No, he was personality. He had personality. Sorry, not say boastful. You know, you had. So you look at the other sports. There's Mary Moraa. She suddenly became the dancing queen. In fact, it was so bad the commentators didn't have enough information about her in the final. That was done yesterday of the 800s. So they were asking and they were talking about the two others, Arthur Mu of the US. Yes, they were talking about her and the other lady. Yes, and shifting away from her. You know, and she promised that if she won, she was going to dance, and she danced as well. So there's Mary Moraa. Then, of course, there's Mondo Duplantis.
She's a different,
who has become unwittingly one of the stars of the games once more because his record precedes him. And for those of you who know, his parents are athletes as well. His father is a former former pole vault champion at national level as well. His mother is a heptathlete, and so they coach him. They coach him by themselves.
Blood matters.
No, blood matters. They do it themselves. His siblings are all sports people. One does the pole vault, one went to university and is doing baseball, but at the lower level. He grew up in the United States. He went to the Louisiana State University. But his mother knew from the beginning that my boy will become a global star and wanted him to identify with Sweden, his roots. So from the beginning, she started speaking Swedish with him. With the fact that he was not catching up fast enough, she enrolled him to Skype lessons 4 times a week.
Learn Swedish.
And when he started winning titles in high school, they increased the number so that he could learn Swedish, because they knew that Sweden will come to him for interviews and stuff.
Right.
Indeed, they did. And when they brought him, they started bringing interviews, and they knew that this guy was American through and through. But he started speaking Swedish.
They loved him no more.
Within the first 3 years, he became the Swedish Athlete of the Year.
Yeah.
He said in an interview recently that the proudest thing he has done is to have been accepted by the Swedish public.
Right.
And you know what they did for him? Now, in the town where his mother comes from, as well, there's a statue, so like the Kwame Nkrumah presidential, so Kwame Nkrumah statue is there. He went to Sweden, and unknown to him, they had worked with his parents. They took him to the town, and next to their version of Kwame Nkrumah, they put a statue of him holding a pole vault there.
Oh, lovely.
He
stuff.
broke down in tears completely.
No, but it's very decent. He's the greatest of all.
He's now racing against. He's now voting against himself. Yeah. So
the competition finishes and he's doing his own thing.
So that's it as well. In terms of stars, athletics has Mary Moraa, of course, Noah Laos, like you said, Shakari Richardson.
No, but you see, I need to tackle something that Siku said. What did I say? No, serious, because he talks about, I like somebody who talks the talk and then walks the walk.
Yes, but
there's a difference. Shakari, this is her first major competition.
By no fault of ours.
She did 10.65, a championship record.
Yes.
She now becomes what? Is it the third fastest woman of all time?
Yes.
And she's also what, 20?
Yeah, she's very young.
Laos is using 9.8 to win a world championships. To be honest and to be frank, I've grown up during a time when 9.8 will finish with 6th.
I know, right?
Seriously. So
the boys have raised
the standard of the 100 meters has dropped. 200 is
No, but you can only beat those you are competing
in front of you.
You see,
no, but the point is making
no,
is
you see, no,
it's
my
true.
point is, I'm talking about people who have greatness potential.
Senior, the guy said he was going to deliver 3 gold
But you
medals.
can win 3 when you
Look, he said it months before and during he kept saying it, and he's done it.
Congrats to him. That's
So somebody who walks the talk.
But winning a World Cup with Argentina,
I beg you, I'm not part of this conversation.
It's not the same as winning a World Cup with, let's say, Senegal. You get what I'm saying? So if you are winning a World Championship final with 9.8, to be honest, come on, those times, 9.8 semi-final, Bolt is jogging, Gay is jogging, Blake is jogging to a 9.8 comfortable win. In the final, we are seeing 9.6s and 9.7s. It needs to be.
All right, so that's on the World Athletics Championship. And shout out to our man Fento Tahiru. He's been phenomenal. This one, and for us, you know, that's why we need the companies to sponsor more journalists to these things, because you see, when people of our skin color and we are there, it matters. Representation matters. We need more of our journalists to be, because it's expensive.
Yeah,
I mean, sending Fento there,
it is.
It's very expensive, but you know. Yeah. Anyway, let's know what your favorite moments from the athletics championships are. Ghana didn't do anything, you know, for obvious reasons. So 055 157 5757 as well. They wanted to comment, but I'm not going to allow them to comment.
Summed it up. We can't even comment.
We didn't do anything. That's all that it is. But where Ghana did something was in the CAF Champions League and the Confederation Cup. And for me, it's exciting times because, Charlie, it's been a while that we've seen at least teams doing well. Medeama went to Africa as Ghanaian Premier League champions, and Dreams FC went on the ticket of the FA Cup. They have both advanced, and it's good things. Medeama went to Nigeria against Remo Stars and did the business. Dreams FC here in Accra completed the job as well against Milo FC of Guinea. If we have the highlights, let's look at them and then let's start talking. Yeah. Danny, how excited are you? What does this mean for Ghana football? Or we should just calm down?
It's massive. Look, we have to celebrate our wins. And let's be honest, where Ghana football is at the moment, you can't look at something and say.
So what you are saying is a penalty shootout between Remo and Medeama, because, you know, after 90 minutes the scores were level.
Look, Gary, we can't look at some of these things and call them normal. Our national teams are struggling to progress from group stages. Our club teams, this is our last stop. This has been our last stop for the past, 3-4 seasons.
Yeah.
So if you have, especially Dreams FC, in a completely new, uncharted territory, go away, do a good job, come home, finish the job, away from home.
Yeah.
And I'll have to say it, away from home, because when I saw John Entry celebrating the goal, I was wondering who he was looking at in the stands, because
there was nobody there.
Almost empty. But it is really impressive for a team like Dreams FC, a team with very little history, to go all the way and do this, progress to the next level. I don't even care if they make it through or they don't make it through, but this for them is huge, and it's a huge boost for Ghana football. For Medeama, salutes to them, especially how they did it. The fact that they went into the second leg, fell by a goal to nil, went into penalties, had the character to be able to calm down and get that result to the penalty shootouts. Look, if anything Ghana wins a penalty shootout, you have to salute, and good job to them. Yeah.
So, Sicho, your takeaways from that as well. Should we just calm down, or this is cause to celebrate?
Yeah. Because it's Medeama and Dreams FC, I think they have to celebrate it, because they don't normally get here.
No.
If it's Hearts and Kotoko, we know their pedigree demands that they do far better than this. So we can say, well, it's them we expected. But even they are not getting through these stages. And for Dreams FC as well, for a very young club, only about 15 years, first time in Africa with no experience on playing on the continent, they've gone there to do their job. And we spoke about their coach, Shakari Richardson, who is used to cup competitions like this. He knows how to mastermind some of these scenarios. And what I like about his interview was he was saying that the crop of players that he's got, not Hearts, not Kotoko, are going to use them for Africa, but there he is. So yeah, credit to them, credit to Medeama. It's not easy to go away from home in Africa and win on spot kicks. Never mind living at home. It's never easy to go away from home. For Dreams FC, yeah, we can only hope that they can get a favorable draw in the next round and keep progressing.
There's something I'd like to say about Karim Zito. He is criminally underrated. And he's underrated because of his link with Keto Kweku.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that on the face of the pink sheets,
the CV doesn't lie.
The CV doesn't lie. His CV doesn't lie. He has consistently taken teams you don't respect and done things with them at club and national team level. Yep. I think we have to give him his flowers.
Let's clap for
that. So I think that Karim Zito, he talks a big game. But he delivers.
He walks it.
He walks it.
No allows.
Shakari Richardson level of stuff. I mean, he's at the interview and he used his opportunity to put Dreams into the spotlight to shade Hearts and Kotoko. I mean,
very important.
So big ups to them. Congrats to all the management. Hopefully they can do more for us. And and I've always said to my journalist colleagues, when Ghanaian teams, and I've been telling Danny the whole time, when Ghanaian clubs, athletes and things do well, we all benefit,
That's
especially for us journalists as well.
So Black Stars, when you go to AFCON, don't go out in group stages.
Don't do that.
And qualify to the USA.
Quick.
Don't do that. Black Stars, we beg you, don't do that. And one of the players who is going to make that happen has just signed a deal with...
We outside.
He's a hammer now. Now Kudus has spent his entire professional career celebrating like this.
He knew.
And it's as if he knew. And West Ham, the thing is like that as well. Their emblem, the hammer as well, the Ions. That's what they call them. And so, 41.5 million euros, that's not bad in the Ghanaian context. That's not bad. That's 38 million pounds. That's not bad. I just saw one of you write something. I'll look for who sent it, but I saw it right now, that you had hoped Kudus' agent would have taken him to a club that's bigger than West Ham United. I'll look for who sent it and we'll see. So what's your answer to that? I'll be taking your questions for this move. 0551 575757. A crop of people yesterday with a very popular doctor who comes on Joy when it comes to international affairs, Dr. H.A. Sikanku. He called and said he doesn't understand why we were on Sports Zone on game plan, and we were happy about West Ham because he thought, West Ham could have gotten to a bigger club as well, and that's what we are seeing. Seems like Ghanaians don't see the value in Kudus going to West Ham because they feel he's bigger than the club. Anybody want to touch on that?
Let me be very blunt. I think because of our ease of access to the Premier League, we don't rate the Premier League. Because anybody can just walk to anywhere. We have all games live. we see Premier League like it is our own. So, West Ham is a small club. The Premier League, the brand Premier League, and guy, you can go and look at the numbers.
Yeah.
When Kudus was unveiled at Ajax, that is a traditional European club. They've won the Champions League.
Biggest in Holland.
Compare those numbers to what Kudus' numbers have done
on social media.
On social media in just under 24 hours. The Premier League brings a certain spotlight. Look, and it is no mistake. Players are leaving AS Roma to relegation-threatening teams in the Premier League. They are leaving teams from
Burnley, Southampton,
look,
Everton.
The Premier League is massive. And when you look at West Ham, look, you can't just get up and land the London Stadium if you don't have a certain level of pedigree in London.
Yeah.
West Ham is a big team.
Yeah.
They are actually a very big team.
Historically,
they are a traditional team.
Yeah.
So he's gone to if you're talking about the brand and what the Premier League and the club can do for him, I don't think what again do you want? And it's just up to him to perform. It's really that simple. I said the same thing when Partey was leaving Atletico to Arsenal. Just do your part. You don't even need to perform to 100%. If Kudus can show the Premier League 70% of what he's capable of, look, in the next 2-3 years, and I tweeted it earlier today, that Drogba status of that commanding that big boy respect with the brand, everything that comes with it, Kudus really has the makings of that.
Yeah, he's got a great personality.
Because look, he's everything. He's so sellable off the pitch. Look, he's the guy, and on the pitch also, he has the ability to do so.
I've seen a message. Joe from Takrady says, I think Kudus should have convinced his agent to offer him to United because that's where he's going to displace Anthony straight away. Good signing though. I'm scared for him as to which player he's going to play at the expense of in this West Ham currently, and that's what many of you are afraid of.
The answer, if you are afraid that Kudus can't display somebody in West Ham, why do you think Kudus should walk straight into
So I was going to say that the question you asked at the top of the show, that where is Kudus going to play? Because it's 38 million pounds.
Yeah,
it is good money, but not over the top. That is a player West Ham can easily keep on the bench if they feel they have a very set starting 11. They didn't break the bank to sign him, right? And so Kudus now has to go into West Ham and fight for a place. It's not like when Luka Paquetá was set to join Man City, we could almost predict that he fills that number 10 slot. Now they've got Paquetá, who is staying. They've got Gerard Bowen, who's their most important attacker. They've got Said Benrahma, who's the only natural right-footed winger in the team, and of course Mikel Antonio. So now Kudus has to fight for a place. If we are struggling to put Kudus in the starting 11 of West Ham, which other top team? Is it going to be Chelsea? Raheem Sterling is playing in that position that we think is his favorite position now, right? They've got players. They've brought down Lavia, Caicedo, and Enzo. That midfield three then looks very set if all of them are fit. I'm not saying Kudus can't find a place, but is he regularly going to start in some of these clubs? Is he going to walk into City? Is he going to walk into Liverpool in a position where Mo Salah plays? Darwin Núñez is on the bench. They paid 70 million for him, but they've got Jota, they've got Luis Diaz. They've got quality in these top teams that we are speaking about. The point is, Kudus is still very young, and Ghanaians need to be very patient with his progression. We saw Luka Paquetá leave Lyon to join West Ham. But for his,
that's what Danny said.
But for his controversies, he was on his way to Man City.
Yeah.
Only after a season.
Yeah.
So Kudus only has to keep his head down. Ghanaians need to relax and chill. He has to keep his head down and work hard. His talents, no doubt. Now he has to prove that week in, week out, against some of the best teams in the world,
best players,
he can showcase his potential. Because believe me, you can talk about Man United, but I've seen Sancho go to Man United and struggle. Yep. When Sancho was joining Man United, it didn't look like Kudus had more talent than him after what he had done with Dortmund. We've seen Anthony come from Ajax. They paid 100 million for him. He's struggling. We've at times seen even Marcus Rashford in moments and spells struggling in that team, because that team is not a settled team that I would ask or advise Mo Kudus to join for his development. He's still not a finished article, and maybe West Ham is a stepping stone for him to showcase, like I said, to the world that he's ready for the big step. Chill. West Ham is a good club. I think he'll get his moment, but when it comes, he has to grab it because he's going to be competing with others.
Danny?
Perfectly agree with Sichu. And again, I'm saying that with a team like West Ham, and the Paquetá example is perfect. They just need to see that you can excel in the spaces that they would want. So for Man City, of course, Man City don't play identically to what West Ham play. But Man City have seen that going forward, Paqueta can offer something to them. So for Kudus, it doesn't necessarily have to be 100% Kudus in the system, because when you look at the way West Ham play, and I'll mention it again, you look at the way West Ham play, you know that yes, you have some very good games, but there are some games that you also need to allow himself to be part of the system, which will happen.
AKA the defensive nature that Ghanaians are afraid of.
It will have to.
And maybe that is where he develops it. Who knows?
Maybe. So because we have said that he's not all round in that sense.
Yeah, that's an aspect of his game that needs a switch on.
True.
Maybe when he switches that on and it's a more complete player you can trust.
In 2-3 years, look, there are too many examples of players who have come to some of these teams and have spawned to top clubs. So just calm down.
When people say that you go to the top clubs, I think of City. I don't think he plays enough. I think of Arsenal. I think he will struggle for games in Arsenal. We've got Bukayo Saka playing in that position. Bukayo Saka has played more consistently than any Arsenal player in their history.
Yeah.
The guy, when he's injured, he doesn't feel the pain. He still plays.
He's just broken the record for the most consecutive games. 83.
83.
Yeah.
You know, which other position? There's Gabriel, there's Edin Ketia, there's Kai Havertz who can play in the false 9 roles. If you're talking about number 10, they've got Kai Havertz. They've got their captain, who is always going to play in Odegaard. So the top teams are. You're talking about Arsenal, you're talking about City, talking about Liverpool, Mo Salah.
City, they are looking at Anthony. It's Anthony they are looking at.
Of course, I agree. He's a anyway, but that is not a club you want to really trust that Kudus develops. And I also think, I've said before, Eric Ten Hag doesn't necessarily significantly develop or improve the players he works with.
And Gary,
the evidence are there.
In 1 minute, another thing we also need to understand is the pressure that the Premier League comes with and how quickly forgotten you could be. You don't want to go to a team where the spotlight is so much on you and every single mistake is magnified. Amplified. Just be at West Ham. You can make the mistakes there, but when you shine, everybody will know. When you have a bad game, nobody will know.
What is this, 23 going to 24? 23. The boy is still young.
Charlie's got his whole life ahead of him. Good evening, Gary. Why do we think our players can't play at the highest level? And I can confidently say Kudus is better than many of the Europeans and some of the big teams.
That's what you see about.
Also buy players based on the country that they come from. Perfectly spoken by Sichu and Daniki about Kudus, and his coach Moyes will handle him well. This is from Mutala. Mr. Kamasa from Mankesim says, Mo Kudus will fit into this West Ham not with ease, but he won't break his back to do so. He said he won't do it easily, but he won't break his back to do so.
Right.
Note that the bigger the club, the higher the price for sale. Kudus would have cost more if it was Arsenal or Chelsea or Man United. Faculty here, the greatest FPL manager from Ghana. My question is, who is Kudus going to bench? I don't understand why Man United refused my $8 billion bid for the club. Good evening, guys. I'm Bedroom Guardiola from La Paz, Abetifi. Pep Guardiola thinks he can copy Pep and win the league. Why can't he play Partey in the middle? No, it means Arteta. Why can't he play Partey in the middle? Why copying Pep? He won't even qualify for the Champions League at this rate. West Ham is a big team, but he should have gotten to a much bigger team. I think Kudus is far better than Jude Bellingham. But see where Bellingham is playing now, boss. He's not.
Sometimes.
I mean, we are Ghanaians and we love Kudus. He's not better than Bellingham. Cool down. Have you seen what Jude Bellingham is doing at Real Madrid?
In 2 years, he'll be better than Bellingham.
He has the potential to be, and maybe Bellingham gets better than where he is now.
Akonsombo, Jerry from Akonsombo says, Kudus is going to be the top scorer for West Ham. Amen to that.
We like that.
Good evening, guys. I am enjoying the show. I think West Ham is a good mood for Kudus. We are glad he made that move. And last one before we go for a commercial break. Hello, good evening. This is Obed McCoy from Medina. I think looking at the haram ball of David Moyes, I see Kudus playing behind Mikel Antonio.
Where does that leave Paqueta?
Yeah. He will do that simple, my friend. He will go and play because Kudus is a better player, pass all the players up front at the time right now. I think Kudus will be playing as an attacking midfielder alongside Benrahma and Bowen. Please send your name when you do. This is from Alberta in Adentan. I feel like Man United have made a mistake by letting, Greenwood go. I'm 700 lifestyle from Taifa. Kudus to start from the bench. Right wing will be okay for him as well. Good evening, Gary. I think Kudus will compete very well with Bowen on the right wing. Also as a false nine. As a false nine, he can't with Antonio. I'm Shadrach from Apam. Kudus will play where Benrahma they play. Now, if he starts getting game time, because You know they performed this season. Because you know they performed this season. Useless running, so...
The other thing is, as well, Steven Gerrard's, you know, I'm a big fan of the Saudi Pro League. Steven Gerrard's, you know, tide is looking at maybe bringing in Antonio to the Saudi. So if Antonio leaves, all of a sudden leaves if it leaves a space in that. Why is Daddy so happy? I'm a big fan of the Saudi Pro League.
I know. Kofi from Kaswa says the fee used to buy Kudus and the fact that only West Ham wanted him says a lot.
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
Absolutely.
That's
I was waiting for a bidding war. It never came.
Ghanaians, remember, the teams that wanted Kudus
were Brighton and West Ham.
Finished. Chelsea said they were interested. They
didn't
didn't do anything else apart from that. So let's cool down for him. Kofi from Kaswa, that's a good point. He says only West Ham wanted him. It says a lot. So those comparing him to Bellingham and Pedri need to stop. Right. So many comments coming in, but we'll take our final commercial break. When we come, we look at more Ghanaians abroad. And Karim will be here to be on the touch screen and do touch screen analysis. With us on Sports Zone show, brought to you by Hunter's Real Apple Cider and also Syntex Tanks, a stronger, a tough, and pridebet.com.gh. PrideBet, together we play. Brian Dia Grow up PrideBet is our new sponsor as well. And just before we go into the Ghanaians abroad, Danny here, Sicho here, let me show you this about the previous Ghanaians who have played for West Ham United. There you go. So sorry, the shirt number is 20. We made a mistake. It should be shirt number 20 for Dede Ayew. So John Pentil played there between 2006 and 2008 as a defender, Andre as a forward, and their shirt numbers were 14 and 10 and 20. Sorry, John Pentil had 24 appearances in all competitions. Dede had 50. Dede scored 12 goals for them. He had 5 assists for them, and then 3 yellow cards.
Not a bad return. I never thought he had 12 goals. I thought Dede, because he had a horrible injury at West Ham. I never imagined he had 12 goals.
You see, that's the thing that Danny K always says about we Ghanaians. Sometimes we, especially for Andre Ayew, it's when Andre retires that we'll realize how much we disrespected this guy.
Nasty knee injury.
Yes,
I never
because he had a very bad knee injury there, and he didn't have a good time. But these are his numbers. We got it from the Premier League, PremierLeague.com today.
It's good.
Wow.
Yeah, Premier League and transfer market.
Wow.
So these are the numbers for the previous guys. Some of you may have seen that Chris Hughton, but we wanted people, who have played for the Ghana national team. But Chris Hughton also played for West Ham, and they have a whole host of Ghanaian British guys around. But we just wanted to keep it to the Black Stars players.
Hardcore Ghanaians.
What's it called? Not IMF Ghanaians.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you for staying with us on the show. Speaking of Ghanaians, Karim is here. Karim, what you got?
Well, I've got some IMF Ghanaians here.
So what did they do?
Well, the performance has been really good for the past week and this. The only place that there's no competition really is the goalkeeping position.
Atizigi is our best goalkeeper.
Yes, it's not that he's done well to earn it.
Yeah.
There's nobody to compete.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes. So his side, St. Gallen, they played against FC Zurich, Daniel Afriye's team, and they drew goalless. He didn't make any save in that game. So then we have Leroy Owusu, his side, Odense, they beat Vidova 5-1, and he provided an assist, created the most chances in that game, 4 chances. Then Emmanuel in team, his side, Kong, they beat AC Ajaccio 3-0. And
in France?
Yes.
Okay.
He won 5 over 5 duels in that game. Then Samson Beidou, his side, Red Bull Salzburg, they won 2-1 against Wolfsberger. Then he scored the equalizer, and in that game he won 9 of 10 duels. Then Jan Jamara, his side, Nuremberg, they won 2-1 against Verheim. Then he also scored a goal there and won 9 of the 10 duels he contested in that game. Then Yao Aka, his side, Kasarispo, they won 2-1 against Samsunspor, and he was decent in the defensive midfield position there. Then Almeria, Baba Idris's team.
It's been a while.
They played against Cadiz. Then the game ended 1-1. Something we didn't really know about his game dribbling. He completed the most dribbles in that game, 3/3, won the most tackles in that game, 2/2, and also won.
What's the scoreline in that game?
1-1. Then we come to Iñaki Williams, Real Betis. His side, Athletic Bilbao, they won 4-2 against Real Betis. His brother won the 2 penalties to get the equalizer in that game, and he also assisted the winner. And he didn't directly assist. His cross came in, they parried it out, but it didn't go in.
Nice one.
The deflection.
Skip the best for last.
We
Let's
come
do
to Isaac Nuhu, his side. Ayakas Upin, they won 3-1 against OH Leuven. That's
Belgium.
Nathaniel Opoku's team. He has an injury, he didn't play in that game. Then Jordan Ayew, Crystal Palace, they drew 1-1 against Brentford. Jordan Ayew assisted the important equalizer for Palace, and he was also the most fouled player in that game. And also Mosdu also won 12 in that game. Then we come to Bernard Tekwete, Ludo Grace. After giving Kudus a 9 send-off on then he went back to redeem himself by scoring a goal and assisting for Ludogorets in their 5-1 win over Beru in the
Bulgarian
League.
Yeah.
So basically that's it from the Ghanaian.
Thank you very much. What you notice about these names, a lot of these names we are not very familiar with them.
Yeah.
It's an issue. But I saw today that Majid Ashimeru will not be called up for the Black Stars versus Central African Republic because he has a niggling ankle injury, and it's a problem. It's a problem for Majid Ashimeru as well. All right, thank you, Karim, for that. Let's go to the Premier League, where Jordan was in action in a weekend where Arsenal could not get things right. We start with Newcastle, who Fento has tipped to win the Premier League by some. Indeed, last week they lost against Man City, and everybody thought that they had to respond. And for large stretches of this game, they looked like they were about to respond positively. But Liverpool pulled it out of somewhere and won. Sicho?
I think Eddie Howe lost it while Klopp won it. I think it was down to the 2 managers. And to be fair to Liverpool, to Newcastle, Liverpool should have had 2 men sent off. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold should have been sent off even before the mistake that led to the first goal. The referee overlooked what was clearly a second yellow card offence. Then Van Dijk, as well, rightly so, a red card. I looked at that first time, I thought it wasn't a red, but to be honest, I looked at the sequence. He went through the man before he got the ball, so he was sent off. But that was when I thought Klopp was very smart. Initially, when he took off Diaz, I was surprised because I thought he's one of the only player in the front 3 who is a better ball carrier and he's got enough pace to also run down the channels. But then I saw what Klopp was trying to do with Cody Gakpo. He played like a midfielder, not like a forward player when he dropped him into the midfield and allowed Mohammed Salah to be on his own up front. And that point for Liverpool was all about staying in the game. The longer you stay in the game, and as long as the game remains 1-0, you've got a chance. All you need is just one chance. It could be a pen, it could be a corner, it could be a good through ball. And in the end, when Klopp realized that Liverpool has stayed in the game for that long, he threw on Darwin Núñez, who has got an incredible run about him. He makes very, very important runs. Núñez always gets into good goal scoring opportunities. Whether he takes them or not is that other discussion. And this time, credit to him, he took those glorious chances. I think Klopp played it well, but this is where Eddie Howe lost it. He didn't need to look for the second goal at all means or by all costs, because he tried and it wasn't happening. They were missing chances. They were missing the creating of chances, and you should have just respected Liverpool enough to know that all right, 10 against 11, sit back, close the gaps, don't allow them to run in behind so that they could take the 1-0 away. But the moment they were so expansive, spaces were in behind them. When you've got Salah playing those passes, Jota, Szoboszlai, there's always a tendency that one of those balls could slip through, and that was what we saw. Okay, so very yes or no question. Are Newcastle still looking dangerous enough to be in the top 4? Yeah, I think they are. They are. Yeah. Danny, next game. After Newcastle, Liverpool, we are first of all, which is your game of the weekend? Arsenal. United Forest.
Yeah, but I won't talk about the Arsenal game. Look.
Okay, so I've been told that we should discuss this one.
Yeah. Right. First mistake for Man United. There's a huge problem with the structure, and Ten Hag seriously needs to fix it. I don't understand how a set piece and Marcus Rashford is the last man defending, and it clearly showed. And again, this is something that Sicho doesn't want me to say, but I'll say it. If it was David De Gea in post and the forward had a free run on goal from the center line and David De Gea didn't come out to close the gap because the last defender was also applying pressure on him, it would have been a problem. Onana should have reacted. It would have made it much more difficult for Awoni. But these are just tiny things. United seriously needs to fix the structure. I said it last week that they're a bit too easy to score against, and that is the problem. When you have to score 2 goals to win a game or stay in a game, it is a problem. And you can't have Casemiro and your first choice centre back and still be conceding goals, and your first choice keeper and still be conceding goals like that. The team needs to be better structurally and help out the defense.
Nice one. So that's basically about the 2 games. Yeah, you wanted to talk about Arsenal.
Yeah.
Look,
interesting.
It will work. What Arteta is doing will work.
Producer, don't forget, before the other thing I gave you to show to Sicho, please, we have to show it. Go ahead.
Look,
hey, Charlie.
It will work. What Arteta is doing will work. The idea behind his insistence in playing Havertz, the idea behind taking Partey from right back into midfield, it will work. So just relax.
And I've got a problem with it.
What's the problem?
In the quest of playing Havertz in that role, Arteta has sacrificed 2 very important partners, 2 different important partnerships we saw last season. Saliba and Gabriel was solid through last season. He's broken that. And then, in the process, broken White and Saka. One of the best combinations we saw throughout the entire Premier League season last time was White and Saka. All of a sudden, that is gone. And the more reason we've not seen Saka necessarily being himself because White was providing something for him. He's no more there. And there's no Saliba and Gabriel. So there are games where this system would work. But I don't necessarily think it works for all games.
Nice one. So Premier League has been great. It will be better. There's something I want to show you. I saw this today.
Al-Shabab.
So please, bro. Now Al-Shabab is where Neymar plays. No, Al-Hilal. Sorry, Al-Shabab is the other one.
Yeah.
Al-Shabab is Prince Tego. Sorry.
Yeah.
Al-Nassr is playing tomorrow, 6:45 p.m.
Yes.
So I saw this in town and I stopped.
Yes.
And I said, hey, now game centers are showing Saudi League.
Charlie, I'm telling you.
We are going global.
Cristiano Ronaldo is a deal.
Charlie, the boy, he's not Yeah, yes.
Neymar said it.
Neymar said
Ronaldo started.
Anyway, have you seen the other one? So, about the MLS, because of the times, I don't think game centers will be able to show the MLS because it's not friendly.
Nobody really would go and watch, believe me.
Yeah, you see. But I saw this in town, and just to give you an idea of how big the thing is becoming as well. So
full AC.
See, if you don't want to kill me, sir.
More importantly, something happened over the weekend.
No, I was going to say that.
Okay.
That's what I'm asking them to show. So Messi gave a wild, crazy assist.
You relax.
Or pre-assist.
Pre-assist to assist himself.
To assist himself and scored a goal as well. I mean, underlying his credentials. And Ronaldo scored a wild hat-trick. So these are their numbers for the 2 guys.
No, but you see, when you're talking about pre-assist and assist, Gary, you're being very unfair.
Why?
When I saw the video, you see, I saw the captions before I saw the video. And when I saw the video, somebody had given an acrobatic pre-assist.
That is Jordi Alba.
And I thought that was the pass you were talking about. Because this pass you are talking about, we've seen it 4 times, 5, 6, 7 times this weekend alone.
Yes.
Ronaldo gave a vacuum assist to Mane.
Hold on. So these are the numbers for Cristiano and Messi at 38 and 36.
Yeah, the Saudi League is more competitive.
I'm Gary Smith, Sicho, and Danny K here. Thank you for all your comments.